To begin, you will make a slip knot. You will chain up 73. Once you have chained up 73, you will double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then in that 4th one, you will do 1 double crochet. Then you will insert 1 double crochet in each chain. You will repeat this process until the end of the chain, and I will meet you back once you have double crocheted 1 in each chain. You will chain up 3, turn your work, skip the next 2 stitches, and then in that 3rd stitch there, you will double crochet. You will double crochet 1 more time into that same stitch. Chain 2. Double crochet 2 more into the same stitch. You're creating a scallop right now. You will chain up 2. Skip the next 3 stitches, and then in the next stitch you will double crochet 1, chain up 2, skip the next 3 stitches, and then in the next stitch you will insert 2 double crochets, chain 2, insert 2 more double crochets into that same stitch, this is what it should be looking like right now. You will chain up 2, skip the next 3 stitches, and then in that next stitch you will double crochet 1. Should be noticing a pattern by now. You will chain up 2, skip the next 3 stitches, and then in the next stitch you will create another scallop by inserting 2 double crochets. Chain 2, insert 2 more double crochets into that same space. You will repeat this pattern until the end of the row. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row here. I chained up 2. I'm going to skip 3 and double crochet a scallop. Crocheted up my last scallop, and if you chained up 71 stitches on your initial row here, it should work out even. So you will skip a 2 and then double crochet 1 into the last stitch there. So that's row 2. Row 3, you will chain up 3, turn your work. Now you will be working into that scallop right there, so that middle space you will work another scallop by double crocheting 2, chain 2, double crochet 2 more into the space, chain 2. You will be working into the double crochet from the previous row, so you will skip these 2 stitches, skip those 2 chains, and work 1 double crochet into the previous. You will chain up 2, skip the next 2 chains, skip the next 2 stitches, and then into that center of the next scallop you will work another scallop. So you will double crochet 2, chain 2, double crochet 2 more into the same space, chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, skip the next 2 chains, and then work 1 double crochet into the previous double crochet from the row before. You will repeat this process all the way across. Chain 2, work into the previous scallop by working another scallop. Chain 2, skip all of this section and double crochet 1 into the double crochet. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row here. I did my last scallop, and then I will just double crochet into the last double crochet there. You will basically just repeat that row for a handful of rows. So you'll just chain up 3, turn your work, and repeat the process of previous row. You will repeat this process for 25 rows. So we already did 2 and we're on the 3rd one, so I will meet you back after 25 rows. So after the 25th row, you will turn your work, you will slip stitch over in each stitch and slip stitch in each chain. You will continue this process of slip stitching in each stitch and chain until you get to the 3rd scallop from the edge. So this one right here. 1, 2, and then on that 3rd one you'll stop. Okay, so once you have slip stitched to the 3rd scallop there, you're going to stop in the middle of it and chain up 3. You will double crochet 1 into the next stitch. Double crochet 1 again into the next stitch. Double crochet 1 into each chain. You will double crochet 1 in each stitch and chain. All the way across until you get into the 3rd to last chain, or 3rd to last scallop on the other side. So this is the other side, so that's 1, 2, and then on that 3rd one you'll stop right there. So you will just double crochet until you reach that point. We stopped at the 3rd to last chain there, and we only double crocheted 1 into the middle of the scallop instead of 2. We are going to chain up 3. Turn your work. Double crochet 1 into the next stitch all the way across. So just insert 1 double crochet into each stitch. You will repeat that until you get to the end here of that chain 3. So you're just repeating basically the same row you did before. Okay, so I crocheted all the way across the edge here, so now you have 2 rows protruding out of the piece that you worked up, if that makes sense. So you should have a band right there and then 2 open kind of pieces on the side. Now we will begin the strap portion. So you will chain up 3, turn your work, double crochet 1 into the next 8 stitches. So you'll have a total of 9 because that chain 3 counts as a double. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Total of 9 stitches there. You will chain up 3, turn your work again, double crochet 1 in each stitch, you will repeat that row 2 more times to have a total of 4. So you will chain up 3, turn your work, double crochet 1 in each stitch till you get to the end right there. You will repeat that 1 more time, chain up 3, turn your work, and insert 1 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, now you will tie off with a pair of scissors. You will repeat this process right here on this side. You will attach your piece of yarn at the corner there, create 9 stitches for 4 rows. Okay, so this is what your piece should be looking like right now, and you will repeat this process for 1 more panel. You need 1 for the back and 1 for the front. So just rewind and repeat that process, and I will meet you back once you have 2 panels. Okay, so I've created my second panel here. And you will just layer it on top of each other. And you will sew up these straps up here. You will just piece together these 2, and you can either slip stitch or sew along the edge to combine the 2 pieces. Okay, so I attached a piece of yarn. You could just, whenever you cut off, leave these pieces a little bit longer so that you can slip stitch. I forgot to do that. These are too short to slip stitch with, so I attached a new piece of yarn at the corner, and you will just slip stitch each stitch together. And you will slip stitch all the way down the strap here. Once you have slip stitched that together, you can tie off. You will repeat this process for the other strap. Okay, so once you have both of these combined, you created the neck hole. Now you will turn it on the side. And you'll do the exact same thing of sewing or slip stitching these sides together. Okay, so you'll just sew along the edge here on each side. And your main panel is, or your main piece is finished. And we will start working on the sleeve portion. To begin the sleeve portion, you will get a new strand of yarn and create a slip knot. Insert your hook, and you will chain up 37. Once you have chained up 37, you will double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So I know this yarn is hard to see, but you will count down to the 4th chain, and in that 4th chain, you will create 1 double crochet. For the rest of this row, you will just insert 1 double crochet in each chain. So you should have 35 stitches total. For the next round, you will chain up 3. Turn your work. Skip the next 2 stitches, so 1, 2, you'll skip those, and then in the next one you will create a scallop by inserting your hook and creating 2 double crochets. Chain 2, insert 2 more double crochets into the same space there. You created an open scallop there. So you're doing the same pattern you did for the main piece. You will chain 2, skip the next 3 stitches, and then in the next stitch you will create 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip the next 3 stitches, and then create an open scallop again by creating 2 double crochets, chain 2, and insert 2 more double crochets into that same stitch. Chain 2, skip 3, insert 1 double crochet into the next. Repeat that into the end. Okay, so I'm at the end here. And this doesn't work out perfectly, but that's okay because you won't be able to tell once we sew it up. You will chain 2 and then insert 1 double crochet into the last stitch there. And that's what this row should be looking like. The next row you're just going to be repeating this round. So you will chain up 5, turn your work, skip that space there, skip those 2 stitches, those 2 chains, and then in that double crochet you will insert 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, or skip the next 2 chains, skip the next 2 stitches, and then in that open scallop create another open scallop by double crocheting 2, chain 2, double crochet 2 more, chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, skip the next 2 chains, and insert 1 double crochet into the next stitch. You are repeating, the same process you did for the main portion. So I created my last scallop on this row, and then I will just insert 1 double crochet into the last stitch there. You'll repeat that by chaining 3, turn your work, create an open scallop into this scallop by inserting 2 double crochets, chain 2, insert 2 more double crochets, repeat this process to the end of the row here. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row here. I created my last my last double crochet, and then I will chain up 2, and then insert 1 more into the 3rd chain. So you will count up to the 3rd chain, and then insert 1 double crochet. You will repeat this process for a number of rows. I'll come back and tell you how many rows I did. Okay, so I ended up doing 23 rows, 24 if you're counting this row at the bottom here. And to close off, we will chain up 1, turn your work, chain up 2 more, single crochet into that double, chain up 3, single crochet into the middle of the scallop there, chain up 3, single crochet into that double. You're going to be skipping those 2 stitches, skipping those 2 chains. We're essentially just evening out the top row here. Chain up 3 again, single crochet into the middle of the scallop there, chain up 3, again you're skipping the 2 stitches, skipping the 2 chains, and just single crochet into the double crochet from the row before. Repeat this process to the end. At the end here, you will just chain up 2, and single crochet 1 into the last stitch, or that 3rd chain. Alright, so we have just evened out the top there. For the last row, you will chain up 3, turn your work. You will insert 1 double crochet in each chain. And 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way across. I know this yarn's a little bit hard to see, but you'll just put 1 double crochet in each chain and stitch. So you will repeat that all the way across to the end. Okay, so now that you have double crocheted all the way across, you will fold your piece hot dog style like that. And then you will slip stitch along this edge here all the way, and then you will tie off, and then that is your sleeve. You'll repeat this process for another sleeve, and then I'll meet you guys back to show you guys how to attach it to the main piece.